Welcome to be here. I'm your host and travel agent, Chris Marks, and welcome to Charleston, South Carolina.
On this episode, we're checking out several tours you can take in the Charleston area, including Charleston boat tours, tours of the USS Yorktown at Patriots Point, and even some creepy ghost tours. First, let's hit the high seas on this beautiful boat.
Hey guys, and one thing you definitely want to check out whenever you go to Charleston, South Carolina is Charleston Harbor Tours. We're about to go on a boat tour of the entire harbor, and we're gonna have an awesome time and learn a few things. Let's check it out.
Time to set sail. Charleston Harbor Tour is a 90-minute tour of most of the harbor. The ship is air-conditioned except for the upper deck, and it has a full bar as well as snacks on board. The live narration from the captain offers the passengers a great deal of knowledge of Charleston's rich history. Plus, it's hard to beat the beautiful view from the top deck. And there's our friendly captain now. One of the historical spots we visit on the tour is Fort Sumter, where the first shots of the Civil War were fired. You'll cross paths with other boats along the way, such as shrimping boats, as well as large shipping vessels. Now, this is very relaxing. The sea breeze, the salt in the air, the smooth music, the delightful captain that we have on this tour. But if you're gonna sit on the top deck, definitely bring some sunscreen because it is quite warm and toasty up here. But it's the best view on the boat, so I can't complain. Another great sight along the way is the aircraft carrier at Patriots Point, the USS Yorktown. You'll also head straight to the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge and get an up-close look at this amazing structure. You'll also go directly beneath it, where the captain will give everyone a fun surprise.
Alright guys, last warning. Here comes the horn. Now, I can't lie to you guys, that is my favorite part of the job. And since I'm the captain and I can do what I want to blow it one more time.
One more time!
That is so cool.
There's an echo in here.
Now, it doesn't matter how many times I warn people about that. There is always somebody on board that's like, no, it won't be all that loud. And they almost jump out of their skin. And that young lady sitting in the third row on the left side wearing a pink shirt with a straw hat. Yes, ma'am, you turned yourself into a turtle. Now, this
Gotta
bridge,
love a
we have
good
two bridges
captain.
here. The first was the Great
Salute.
Memorial.
When you go on any of the boat tours, be sure to get here at least 30 minutes early because there is always a long line to get on board. So get here early, get you a good spot, and remember to be here.
First, we go under the bridge, and now we cross over it to Patriots Point. A great tour to check out at Patriots Point is fly-in helicopter tours, where you can get amazing views of Charleston for various prices. And of course, you can't visit Patriots Point without going through the gift shop. One of the things you gotta check out at Patriots Point is the Vietnam Experience exhibit, where you get an up-close look at the helicopters, tanks, equipment, and various facilities used during this war. It really is an interesting exhibit to explore whether you're a history buff or not.
be here, you get to have special privileges. I'm gonna blow some stuff up. Woo!
Now let's check out the main attraction over at Patriots Point, the Navy battleships.
Another great attraction to check out whenever you're in Charleston is the USS Yorktown. This amazing battleship is here and they've turned it into a museum. There's the aircraft carrier, a destroyer, and a submarine. We're gonna check out all three and have some fun and learn a few things. Let's check it out.
At nearly 900 feet, the USS Yorktown proudly served in World War II and continued its service until it became a museum in 1975. Once you're inside the museum, there is an overwhelming amount of patriotic history everywhere. From guns to airplanes, from pictures and stories to the Aviation Hall of Fame. This ship has just about everything inside that you could possibly imagine. Also on board are replicas of the Apollo 8 capsule. The USS Yorktown recovered the Apollo 8 crew in 1968. You can also check out various rooms throughout the ship, but for now, let's check out the flight deck. This was probably the most impressive part of the entire ship for me.
It's not every day an average Joe like me gets to walk on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. Definitely feel pretty special at the moment. It's a very cool thing to learn a thing or two about the men and women who fought for this country and were in the Navy. My granddad was in the Navy back in World War II. Brings back a lot of memories of things he told me when I was a kid. Granddad, I love you. I miss you. Thank you. To everyone who served in our Navy and military, thank you. Well, we just did everything there is to do on USS Yorktown. Let's check out the destroyer.
The USS Laffey is the most decorated World War II era U.S. destroyer in existence. At 376 feet long and 2,200 tons, this destroyer is a powerhouse of a vessel. And this gun turret has a virtual simulation inside.
Those are some big guns. I don't care who you are. Those are big guns. One thing I just learned about this ship, the USS Laffey, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. There was a big naval battle in which this ship was under attack by over 20 kamikaze airplanes. The ship was actually hit by 4 bombs and 6 kamikaze airplanes, and it caused a lot of damage. However, the ship still remained afloat and it won the battle, giving the ship the nickname, the ship that wouldn't die. So, all the men who served on this ship, they were damn good fighters, and we honor them by listening to their stories. Definitely want to check this out and pay tribute.
Last but not least, let's see the submarine. This submarine was commissioned and served for 30 years during the Cold War.
Now, unfortunately, the submarine was closed today, but it is still a beautiful sight to check out. A lot of history with all these ships, the aircraft carrier, the destroyer, and the submarine. These men and women were truly, truly something else, the people who served on these vessels. Definitely something you want to check out. And when you learn all this wonderful history, when you check out all these beautiful ships, always remember to be here.
And for the people who like a haunted side of history, you gotta check out one of Charleston's many ghost tours. Any city this old is bound to have a few skeletons in its closet. And there's no shortage of graveyards in this town. The 90-minute tour will take you down many roads and streets, all that have a dark history and a dark story to tell.
To quote the Three Stooges, swell place for a moida.
If these bricks and stones could talk, oh, the terrifying tales they could tell.
We're entering the dungeon.
Only the bravest of the brave would dare enter the dark underbelly of the old Exchange and Provost Dungeon. Built in 1771, the bottom floor of the exchange was converted into a prison by the British for American war prisoners, pirates, private citizens, and slaves, all of whom had to endure the horrible, harsh confines. To this day, many still tell tales of ghosts and hauntings with these hollow grounds. Despite the stories, we never saw or heard anything really scary. It's still a little difficult to enter this dungeon without some sense of fear. It is indeed an interesting experience. Even after the ghost tour was over, we couldn't escape the darkness as an eerie storm creeped upon the town of Charleston, putting a blanket of shadows onto our experience. Eerie, to say the least.
One thing you gotta remember about Charleston, the weather changes every 5 minutes. One day it'll be beautiful and sunny. The next minute, it'll be like this. Rainy, cloudy, and thundery. But that's okay. It's part of the adventure. And whether it's rain or shine, always remember, be here. We sunk their ship, Captain. Ha ha!